Democracy takes time. It has been 3 years since the abdication of Ben Ali, and while Tunisia still struggles with low unemployment rates in their economy, their lives have improved drastically. Tunisians, both men and women, now have basic human rights. In Ben Ali's corrupt regime, people were suffocated. They were denied basic human rights such as freedom of speech, freedom of press, and women were withheld rights simply because they were women. For example, Human Rights Watch reports that in 2004, Shaheen Alou, a Tunisian agricultural engineer recently freed from a 14-year imprisonment for political activity, sat down in a local market holding a sign that offered to sell his daughters. Ben Ali's government had prevented Alou from getting a job, had subjected Alou to sell his daughters in order to financially support himself. By taking away people's basic rights to imbalance the circle of human needs, by taking away Alou's right to protest the government, he was driven to sell his young daughters. The ousting of Ben Ali was necessary in order to form a new, modernized government to prohibit cases like Alou's. It was a demand for dignity that pushed Ahmed Mohammed to take action. The Human Rights Watch reports that on January 28th, the government initiated an internet blockade and communications blackout, a huge breach of freedom of press and other basic freedoms. Muhammad told the New York Times in February 2011, "Imagine sitting at your home, having no single connection to the outer world. I took the decision that we are not sheep in their herd, and I went out and joined the protests." He speaks the truth for many. He and many other Tunisians realized that a dictatorship might secure a tad of stability, however, it would help the people's rights for full freedom and liberation. During Ben Ali's 23 years of reign, he controlled everything, and while it gave people a false sense of security, his reign only truly benefited him. A democracy is of the people, by the people, for the people, as Abraham Lincoln so nicely put it. But a dictatorship is run by one person, and therefore only benefits one. Ben Ali had been ruling Tunisia this way for 23 years. He held so much power and only used his power to obstruct the government in order to acquire more money and power. Ben Ali structured Tunisian economy to better fit his and his allies' needs. He also adjusted laws to better suit his family. Ben Ali's rule only benefited him. He was ruining a whole country's economy and ruining thousands of lives in order to aggrandize. Muhammad engulfed himself in trained selflessly so that Tunisians could one day live in a world where people can experience freedom and say what they feel because that is basic human rights. I'm not saying that Tunisia is fixed now, and now that they are a democracy, they don't have any more fixing to do, but I am saying in a world that which you cannot speak your truth because you're scared of death is a world in which no one should have to live in. And now, since the revolution, Tunisians no longer have to live this way. I do realize that Tunisia is nowhere finished with the economical work they need to accomplish. But here in America, it has been 200 plus years since we have declared ourselves a free nation, and still Americans struggle to have their rights met. Does that mean, however, we throw our hands in the air, give up, and declare we want a dictatorship? Because America has an extremely low unemployment rate, our stock market recently crashed, and gays still today protest for their rights to be free Americans. But not once did we contemplate a dictatorship. Never did Americans regret fighting against England for our rights, so why should Tunisia settle for less? Tunisia is on the very long road to complete democracy, but should we call the revolution a failure because there are a few bumps in that road? No. Tunisians live in a democracy where all can vote and anyone can run for president, and the media is no longer blocked. Tunisians' lives have improved and the revolution is like triumphant.